everyone. We're back here and we're actually in nice sunny warm weather in Virginia out here, and we're ready for the spring, right?
Right.
It's freezing out there. It's wet, cold, rainy.
At least it's not snowing.
Yeah, I tell you that. So guys, anything that we say is not meant to diagnose you. It's just meant to entertain you. So
But it may
educate you.
be used against you.
Yes. I got 3 really cool tips today, so you don't want to disconnect. You want to listen to these tips. And these are actually not just tips, they're actually questions. Let's see if you can get them right. Very interesting
They're
questions.
question tips.
So we're just about to launch the website for the summit. And so we're just preparing, getting all the details, which we should have done today. And I'm just going to say, guys, if you haven't come, or if you came last year, you want to come again, this is going to be the ultimate summit on steroids. I'm preparing some content, and one of the talks that I'm going to give, Karen, is basically like worst case scenario type hacks. But they're not like, I mean, like for example, let's say for example you want to lose weight.
Right.
And you're menopause and you have no thyroid. What do you do? That type of things. You know, we're going to talk about, like, let's say for example you want to you get heartburn and you need to increase your acid in your stomach because heartburn is not enough acid, but you have an ulcer. What do you do? Or let's say a loved one has Alzheimer's, or they're getting Alzheimer's or getting dementia, and then they basically, you know, they need to do intermittent fasting, but the problem is they're too skinny. They're like really frail. What do you do?
They wander around and eat whatever they're going to eat anyway.
Right. So we're going to cover all these scenarios, worst case scenario situations, and give you the knowledge of how to handle it. Because if you can solve that, if you have the solution, you could pretty much solve your own problem. So you need to come to the summit and check it out. So it's going to be exciting. Hey, guess who we have as the first caller?
Someone from Texas.
Ruth.
Ruth!
Hi,
Hey,
Ruth.
girl.
Hey, I'm just calling to, number one, give you an update on the orange palms.
Oh,
Right.
good. Yeah. What's happening?
I stopped taking all, or because I eat a lot of the raw veggies in a shake every day, so I was probably eating about 4 or 5 cups of spinach, and then 4 or 5 cups of the mixed greens. So I took out the spinach, reduced the parsley down to about a cup. And my hands and my nails have really improved quite a bit. They were really cracking pretty bad, but now they're much stronger. And for some reason,
what's interesting about that, Ruth? These vegetables, they have phytonutrients. The phytonutrients are all about pigments. I mean, you have different color vegetables; they give different pigments. Sometimes maybe your body is not breaking down the pigment, and it's showing up in your skin. It can show up in the stool. I mean, it's just, obviously there was something connected with that. So that's great that you solved that mystery.
Yeah, and I also wanted to ask you, my sister was recently diagnosed with the Bell's palsy, and I looked up your videos on viruses, and you mentioned the monolaurin.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure how much she should take. Is it something like she should really hit it hard for a few weeks?
Yeah.
Is it something that she just takes for a lifetime? How does that work?
Well, what I normally recommend is you take the regular dose and take it for like a day or 2 and see how you do. If you don't
I'm sorry.
whatever's on the bottle, it'll give you
Okay.
the directions. If you don't react in any negative way, like you're not detoxifying, then start to crank it up, the amount, to see if you can create a faster effect. Because monolaurin, typically, you have to take a certain amount to hit a saturation point to really knock those viruses out of the ballpark, and we want to put it back in remission so that can go in, the symptoms can go away. But the thing with the virus
So you're looking for the flu-like symptoms. You're looking for the die-off then.
Sort of, yeah. Yeah, and it may not be a die-off. It could just be, our bodies react to too much of anything, so you might have a histamine reaction which flares up more, I don't know, itching, or even like fatigue. You might feel that. But it's not necessarily a die-off. It's just a a reaction of histamines that are releasing, which are fatigue poisons.
Okay, so then you back off of whatever it is you're taking, because I've been doing it as well, and I'm taking like 3 or 4 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
But then I started with a sore throat yesterday. I went to bed early, and I feel much better today, but I wasn't sure if maybe it was because I was taking too much, if it was that die-off. I mean, how do you actually...
What's probably happening is it's stimulating the immune system, and you're getting an immune reaction. Maybe it's overreacting, not necessarily a bad thing. Back off, see what your tolerance is.
Okay.
I mean, I am the king of detox experiments. I mean, I'll end up like
Yeah.
in bed for 2 weeks with the flu after like taking this massive amount of herb that I want to test out.
When have you been in bed for 2 weeks?
Well, this is a while ago. This
Like
is when I was
10
testing
years
things
ago.
out. Yeah.
When
I was
you
testing.
used to put duct tape on our kids.
And for how many weeks should you take it? I mean, should you take it for a month? Should you take it for a couple weeks?
Just a couple. I would take it for a couple months to really impinge on that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, but it's
All right.
not going to kill the virus completely. It's just going to put it into remission.
Right. So although that remedy, Ruth, is just going to put it in remission because you can't kill the virus. So you just have to. The key is staying as healthy as possible. Okay. All right, Ruth. Thank you very much. I will see you at the summit. All right, Karen.
Okay. So here is someone on YouTube.
Yeah.
Hi, Dr. Berg. Trying to get an answer. I'm losing weight, but not belly fat.
Okay.
Basically, he's reached a certain weight. What should he do or she do?
Well, obviously, when you do keto, you're dropping carbs. You're going to lose weight. You know, the first thing the body does is it starts to use some of the fat around the organs and also in the liver, so that's coming out. So you may also notice weight loss in certain places and not necessarily in the belly, because that's more of an ectopic, it's called fat, which is in a layer around the abdomen. So I wouldn't worry about that. I would just keep going, especially if you're doing healthy keto, because it's eventually going to come off. The stomach is sometimes not always the first thing to come off. So your body kind of doesn't always want to take it off where you want it. Some people have it on the hips, and that might take a little longer. So what I would do periodic prolonged fasting to speed things up. I would drop your carbs a little bit, and if you don't have any cravings, cut back on the fat a little bit and see if that'll speed it up as well. Okay?
Okay. What'd you just say?
You had no clue, did you?
Something.
That's why I was just
Something is
answering.
going to definitely speed it up. Someone says, "Where's Karen?" I am Karen. I'm in disguise with my hair in a ponytail.
Yeah, Karen is here. She is here.
Okay, so I get another one because you had a very long chat with Ruth this
Okay.
morning. Okay, good. So several questions this morning about counting calories and reducing calories. And is there any type of person, any age, any situation where you want to be counting your calories, or is it a debug?
Yeah, well, a calorie does not equal a calorie. The way the body reacts to calories with different foods is very, very different hormonally. So, for example, do we want to count the calories for protein? Well, you want a moderate amount of protein. You don't want a high protein diet. So yes, you do want to count your calories for protein.
Okay.
I just keep it simple, 3 to 6 ounces. Maybe a little more if you're younger, if you're a bigger person. Do you need to count your calories with vegetables? No. What about count your calories with berries and your carbs? Well, of course, because we're doing low carb. Do we count the calories with fat? Only if you're
Not losing weight.
right. Only if you've done it for a while, you've adapted, and now you need to tweak some things. So, but don't worry about counting your overall calories, because that's not as important as the macro-specific calories. Okay, Karen?
Okay, good.
Are you happy with that?
I'm very happy with that.
You're satisfied. Okay, so
No,
let's
I'm
go to,
happy. That's better than satisfied.
well, thank you. Let's go to Sonia from Chicago. Are you there?
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Great.
I just want to ask. I'm taking the mitochondria supplement, and that video you put yesterday was so cute. That commercial.
Oh, right. Yeah, thanks. We're just playing around, having some
Um,
fun. Dr. Bird in the woods. Did you see it?
so
Yeah.
it does work good for me. But I was taking the adrenal. I have a really stressful job, but I'm not doing that anymore.
Uh-huh.
So I was wondering if I should just do the adrenal at night.
You mean the sleep aid?
No, the adrenal support.
Oh, you mean the adrenal?
Adrenal night?
I have two. I have adrenal and cortisol relief, and I also have the adrenal fatigue formula.
Yeah,
Adrenal fatigue
the
formula?
cortisol release one. Yeah.
Okay.
Since
Yeah.
I've been doing this for over a year now, I've lost
Okay.
60 pounds already.
Wow.
congratulations.
Ding,
I
ding,
know.
ding.
That's amazing.
I know I'm fat adapted, but I just didn't know, like, with this new supplement, because it sounds like maybe they do kind of opposite.
Yeah, you can let me just kind of explain, because you're taking the adrenal cortisol relief. That one is very interesting because that you could take it even before bed. It's not going to make you stay up. It's going to just support your adrenals directly, and you're going to just reduce stress in general. The adrenal fatigue formula is mainly for people that have chronic fatigue or chronic inflammatory conditions. It's like a sledgehammer for the adrenal. It's like sometimes it's an overkill. If you have a minor problem, you don't need that one. But it's great for inflammation and anything related to itis, inflammation of. But the new one, the mitochondria energy, is mainly to support the mitochondria. Now, what does that mean? Most everyone has a history of carbs, and they have a problem with insulin resistance. So certain B vitamins in their natural form are necessary to repair the damage. And we're talking about the mitochondria. So I blended a really awesome formula for the mitochondria, which you're going to feel not just energy, but you're going to have less stress. You'll feel better energy, better performance when you exercise. You can go longer, have more endurance. So it's a really good cellular support, not just antioxidant, but just especially what the B vitamin complex does, and as well as specifically B1. And in that product, I have a very expensive nutrient, which is the natural form of B1, which is it's like $8,500 a kilo. I mean, if you buy synthetics, you're talking like $5 a kilo. So most of the vitamins out there, B vitamins, especially B1, are so cheap. They're so synthetic, and I don't use those. So you're taking something that's very, very high level, and that's probably why you're feeling really good from it. All right, thanks for your question. All right, I need to go to Marie. She's been waiting for a little bit. You're from Connecticut. How are you, Marie?
Yes, fine. Hi, how are you?
Good.
Hi, Karen. Hi,
Hey,
Dr.
hi.
Berg. I've talked to you about this before. I have a chronic blushing problem, and I'm doing OMAD. I've been on it for over a year. I do healthy keto, and I'm not seeing any results. So I was thinking about the surgery where they cut the nerves,
Yeah.
and I was just wondering, is there anything that I can I do to kind of help me, maybe prepare for the surgery and then recover afterwards?
Yeah.
And then my second question, which is totally unrelated, is how sometimes you have a capsule or you have a tablet, and sometimes the bottle will say that you can crush it up and put it in something,
Yeah.
and then other times it says, no, you can't. I guess the stomach acid will degrade the product.
Yeah.
Is there a rule of thumb as to know when you can crush something up or open the capsule and put it in yogurt for a kid or something like that? Is there a rule of thumb?
In general, you can crush it up. The only time you wouldn't, and this is just my opinion, is that when you take something for digestion that involves an acid, you're crushing up this acid. It could like really burn your esophagus on the way down. But that's usually a tablet. So it's really depending on what that ingredient is and how it can irritate your esophagus mainly. Stomach could pretty much handle anything. So for that answer, that's my answer on that one. Now, before you absolutely make your mind up and get this surgery, which I'm not saying you not to take it, and I would just do your normal thing before, during, and after with what I recommend to recover faster. But you may want to try one more thing. I'm assuming you already tried benfotiamine for the nervous system, which you probably already tried that. One more thing is hemp oil. It's called CBD oil without THC, 0 THC, that's what you need to get, may help you because it supports all sorts of neurological brain syndromes and weird symptoms and pain and inflammation and headaches. And so you have a autonomic nervous system problem. You may want to try that for a little while to see if that doesn't help you. Okay? Thanks, Marie. And now we're going to Karen. All right,
Hey.
Karen.
Okay,
Give me
good.
a really good one this time.
Okay, well, there's so many today.
Oh, right.
Okay, so Alina, I think that's how you say it. She lost 120 pounds.
What? That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. But she does gain weight before her cycle. This is
Mhm.
pretty common, but she wants your advice. Is there something she can do to have that not happen?
Well, that's an estrogen dominance problem. And the best foods for estrogen dominance are cruciferous. So you want to beef up, no pun intended, on the cruciferous vegetables. Sea kelp is also the other remedy. There's another thing that I have as a product is called Estrogen Balance plus DIM, D-I-M. If you research DIM, it has some fascinating properties. It's a concentrated cruciferous, so you can get like a few pounds of that cruciferous in one little tablet. So that would actually help her go through her cycle smoothly.
Okay, that leads me to another question. Did you know that there is no kale in Bangladesh?
What? You gotta be
I mean,
kidding.
that's the rumor.
We need to send them some seeds immediately.
So what could you eat other than kale?
You can do spinach. You can do broccoli. Yeah, I mean, each country has their own similar type vegetables. I need to probably do some research on that. But I think we're ready for our first question. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Are you sitting down?
I am.
Okay, good. How much saliva do we produce each day? How much spit do we produce every single day? Go ahead and see if you can get this right, guys. Go ahead and type your answer right now.
No Googling.
No Googling. How much saliva?
How much spittle?
And I'm going to do a demo later. No, I'm just kidding. To test it. I'm going to test it all day long. I'm going to bucket. A saliva bucket.
That's disgusting.
I know. Okay, while you're answering that question,
Okay.
let me go to Rose.
Do.
Rosemarie from New York City. Are you there?
Yes. Hi, Dr. Berg. Hi,
Hi, how are
Karen.
you?
Hi.
Hi. I called last week about, like kidney stones. And so I did get supplements that have citrate in it, to be sure.
Good.
And so I got that covered. My question is, I've always had I've always been sensitive to like smell and taste, but for the past year, since I started, like eating healthy, and then of course I had my stones because of green drinks, and then I've been avoiding spinach like the plague because of it. But anyway, I've been doing healthy keto for probably 6 months, and I did notice that I have decreased smell and taste. And then my right eye, whenever I wake up, I notice that there's it's darker skin around the eye. So I was wondering if there's a deficiency that I need to address.
Okay, so question, are you doing intermittent fasting?
Yes, I'm doing 20 and then
Okay.
4.
Do you have
So
any
I'm doing OMAD.
Do you have any symptoms of gout? Big toe pain?
No.
Okay. Okay, so a couple tips. One is that darker color is usually vitamin D. This is what is probably going to go away in the summer. Sensitivities to smell and taste is a B1 deficiency. I think you would really benefit from my mitochondrial because energy, it's called mitochondrial energy because it's really a B1 product in a food-based concentrate. If you can't smell, that's a zinc deficiency. And one more tip about people doing OMAD and then intermittent fasting especially. Of course, they're doing keto, but intermittent fasting tends to spike uric acid. And if you're predisposed to getting kidney stones, what you can do to really kind of counter it is you're probably having your first meal in the evening. So in the morning when you wake up, drink, get a glass full of water, a large glass of water, and put some lemon in there, apple cider vinegar if you want. You don't have to. You can put my wheatgrass if you take that. If you don't, that's fine. But go ahead and put a level teaspoon of baking soda in that water. Sodium bicarbonate. What it'll do when you drink that, it'll offset your pH. And it takes some of the acidity out of the pH, so therefore you won't get this buildup of uric acid as much, and so it'll lessen kidney stones. So, so that's your little hack. That's your little tip of the day. Okay? All right. Karen, do you have something? do you have a, okay, let me tell you, sometimes I'm a little long-winded, and she was giving me the finger.
A little long-winded.
She was like doing this with her finger. Like this means speed it
like
up. Zip it.
Not that you're not interested.
And of course, I was just kind of like, I thought she wanted me to massage her hand. So I'm like doing that with her fingers over here. And so that's why she's laughing.
You need to
understand what you're trying to communicate.
zip it. Okay, good. Well, now that it's my turn.
Oh, no.
I'm going to
Here we
take, well, first of all, do you want to quickly, before it's my turn?
Oh, right, yes. What do we got? What do we got as the answer?
So we got it all over the map. We got a cup, 2 cups, cup and a half, a liter and a half, 2 cups, 3 gallons, 1 gallon, 2 gallons.
Really?
And one person,
2 gallons.
3 gallons. And someone said a barrel.
Okay. The answer is 0.5 to 1.5 liters, which is 2 to 6 cups per day.
Someone said something like that.
But I'm going to have you verify that today, Karen. So if you can just do your experiment and just keep testing all day long and let me know. You're going to have to do this for 24 hours. Don't swallow and eat.
Okay, good. Well, there's someone here. I normally don't do this, but I loved this so much that you're going to get ready. And this is a drill. You're going to just answer really fast on all these, okay? This gal, her name is Ann Lee King. Hi. She sent questions for both of us, and it's a lot.
Well, we don't have a lot of time, but
Okay,
you can
you're
just
gonna
do one answer.
very quickly.
One question.
Ready, Dr. Berg? I started a keto diet, and I was wondering if you could find any kidney beans that have no carbs. Yes or no?
No.
Any juice that has no carbs?
No.
Okay, how about any spaghetti that has no carbs?
Yeah, there are different type of they're kind of root the root. What is that one that we found?
Actually, the last one that we got was really good. It was
Konjac root.
no.
That's one.
Konjac.
Konjac root. Yeah, there's a couple.
There's
We'll
a
have to
couple.
do a video on that.
We have been
Yeah,
testing
it's
them
actually
out.
pretty good.
Yeah. And I'm going to do a video on making lasagna noodles
Oh yeah, please.
with my
Today, can you do that?
cauliflower tortillas.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, and then she asks me a question, which is really for you. Can she put something in kale to settle her stomach?
Yeah.
So if
Ginger works. Fennel.
she's eating
works.
kale? And
Yeah.
okay.
Ginger or fennel.
Okay, there you go. And
Okay.
low-carb beef jerky, look, just no sugar. No sugar.
Right, and consume it not as a snack, just during the meal.
And when do you eat it?
During the meal.
Right away.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, good. So I get more. If you do protein shake that contains sugar, so what's the out point?
Sugar.
If you contain a protein shake that contains sugar, I'm not going to read the rest of the question because you shouldn't be drinking any shake that contains sugar.
Right.
Okay. I'm going to let you have a quick question.
Okay, good. Mary, how are you? You're from the Virgin Islands, St. Thomas. Wow.
Hi. Hi, Dr. Berg.
Hi. Must be rough over there right now.
Yes, it's wonderful. It's like 85 degrees, sun shiny,
Nice.
nice breeze.
Wow.
You're
nice.
going to have to come down here one of these days.
Yeah.
Would love to.
My sister and I went to your summit, and we've already got plane tickets for the next one, so we are on board.
Oh,
Awesome.
great.
Awesome.
Yeah, can't wait. Okay, so I've been keto and IF for over a year,
Okay.
and I've been in ketosis, but I've had gas and bloating. So I figured I'd probably have the SIBO,
Yeah.
and so I've cut down. I've just done the cooked vegetables, and I've done the oregano, clove, and garlic in a tonic that I drink down really quick, and I have to hold my nose. And then I've been doing this fast. I'm like about 90 hours into a fast, and I did a colon cleanse yesterday. So I'm trying to get everything all cleaned out. And now I'm wondering, is it too soon to start adding some probiotics or prebiotics, or should I just let it go longer? I don't know.
How long did you do this for?
This fast?
Yeah. No.
Been,
How long you been cutting down your vegetables for?
About 2 months. And
Okay,
it's
yeah.
been getting better, but it's not completely gone.
Yeah, I think you're ready to add some more microbes. So, yeah, go ahead and add more probiotic right now, or actually add the probiotic right now, and I think you're ready for that. 1 to 2 months, I think you're good to add that in there. And yeah, that's great. I think, believe it or not, we're going to talk a lot about the digestive system in the summit. So you're in for a treat on that.
Awesome.
Yeah, because it's a common
I can't
problem.
wait.
Definitely.
Hey, Karen, are they going to turn the heat up a little bit? It was so cold last year.
I know. That's a hotel thing. You know, they do that. Make sure you bring a sweater.
Right.
We're in a completely different room this year.
I will.
Yeah, because we're going to have,
okay.
probably going to have double or triple the size. So it's going to be fun.
Oh, my goodness.
Body heat will warm you up.
Yes.
That's true. And I'll
Yes.
bring socks.
Awesome.
We all wear socks down here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mary. Yeah, what we'll have to do, Karen, is you'll have to do some periodic exercise type activities to keep everyone
that's
warm.
what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Do some exercise.
I'm sure
in the
people
middle.
love that. Hey, Kathy, you're from Los Angeles. You had a question. Go ahead. What's your question?
Hi, Dr. Berg. How are
Hi,
you?
Great.
Thank you. So good to talk to you guys. So I've been doing the keto about a month, and last night I woke up and my toes were scrunched together. You know how you get that swimmer's, the muscles, you can hardly walk, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong that that keeps occurring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you also have dry mouth, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that just gave me a clue because this relates to the saliva point. Okay, so because when you do keto, sometimes you have a dry mouth, cotton mouth, and that has to do with mainly you're not taking enough electrolytes. Because see, when you do keto, your requirement for potassium, magnesium, and even sodium goes up. Okay, so what you need to do is beef up or raise up the amount of electrolytes you have. Yeah, so if you have my electrolytes, I would recommend that, and I'm not being biased, just because they're the best out there.
They're the best.
But the point is that you want to start to add more minerals. Now, if you have a history of digestive problems, like let's say you have ileitis or colitis or all the itises, and you have this gut problem, that could be one reason why you need more of these nutrients. But start going up on the magnesium and the sodium, and sometimes you need vitamin E for these cramps until the point where that goes completely away. Now that's going to also allow your saliva to be generated because if you don't have enough minerals, you're not going to have enough fluid, and that could be why you have a dry mouth. So those are the two things I would do, but just there's one last little thing I want to tell you, Kathy. So some people, right before they get a kidney stone, they get cramping in the feet. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen to you, or it's even a situation, but there is a connection between kidney stones and also, low potassium and magnesium, high calcium. So by taking those minerals, you'll not only reduce the uric acid stones and the oxalate stones, but you can also reduce the cramps and the dry mouth. It's like you can kill 4 birds with 1 stone. Thanks, Kathy. All right, Karen.
It's a lot of
dead birds with 1 stone. Yeah. Are we ready for the next question?
But, but
Okay.
this or that?
Well, this isn't really a question.
Okay.
It could be, but I'm just going to give you the data.
Okay, good.
So I'm going to talk about the dangers of having glucose in your urine. Now, a lot of people have the keto mojo, so they're able to detect the ketones and the glucose, okay, in their blood. But there are strips that you can check glucose in your urine, and you can buy them. It's basically a urinalysis. It's a kind of, you can probably order online, but in these little strips you can measure ketones and pH and protein and blood and urine. So that's what I'm talking about. If you wanted to get one of those, it's a really good way to test if there's blood in your urine. If there
Glucose or blood?
I'm sorry, urine, glucose.
Glucose.
Yeah.
That's why you got me.
Okay, I was confused. I was actually already over here, but I'm just,
It's okay.
Okay, so basically we're checking for glucose in the urine, and you can actually detect it using an urinalysis. Now, if your glucose is too high, that means that your blood glucose is about at least 225 or more. So if you have that glucose in the urine, you got some seriously high blood glucose going on, because then it's going to spill over because the body considers glucose toxic, so it's trying to get rid of this glucose. Now, what is the danger of getting rid of glucose from the urine?
Must hurt the kidney.
It does. It just means you're oxidizing the eye, the retina, the kidney, the heart, and the brain. Okay? But you're also creating a dehydration thing, because when you're getting rid of glucose, you're also getting rid of potassium, sodium, and chloride, and magnesium.
Okay. So can we back up?
Yep.
Okay, so under what circumstance would you be losing glucose?
High blood sugar. And this is kind of a hidden source of dehydration, because...
So is this going to happen on ketosis?
No.
Okay, so this is...
This is in general. If you're a diabetic.
I gotcha.
Just in general. Yeah, you're not going. If you're doing a ketogenic diet, you're not going to have glucose coming through the urine.
Okay.
It's for those people that are not doing it that need to do it, because and they're just they might detect glucose in urine. They don't think it's a big deal, but it is, because you're going to have, when you lose those electrolytes, and then you're usually diabetics usually have high blood pressure, so they're on a medication, diuretic, which is going to pull the electrolytes more, and they're probably not eating the right foods. They're not going to get the electrolytes, so they are in a serious situation with the heart. They're going to start to develop arrhythmias, atrial fibrillation, heart palpitations, all sorts of electrical problems with the heart, and that is the danger. So
And
it's not just
swelling,
about
right? Like
Eventually-
edema in the
Yeah.
feet and legs, swelling, pitting, edema.
Yes. So dehydration is not just about drinking water, because you drink more water, you're going to flush out your electrolytes that you have, because water doesn't have all those potassium and sodium in there. And I'm not talking about drinking Gatorade, because that's just a little salt in there. But a real high quality electrolyte would be very important to protect the heart. I should do a video on that. Okay. All right, Karen, that was the tip. That was one of the tips. I have
That's
another
a good tip.
I have another tip that I'm not going to actually reveal, but I do want to tell you what it's about. Why, and this is, you're not going to find this information anywhere, guys. I just stumbled on it just by working with a lot of people, but I'm going to tell you what's really behind split ends, which is a huge, massive problem for just people out there.
It's not the hair dryer.
That's one of the things, but it's a minor point.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Good.
So we're going to talk about split ends, because I know that's a big concern, and I'm just being very sarcastic. It's probably a small concern, but it's interesting anyway. If you want to get rid of your split ends,
Okay.
stay tuned. Do not leave, because we're going to reveal it shortly.
Okay.
On that note, do you have a question?
Sure. Okay, so about the urine anyway.
Yeah.
So one woman is saying that her husband's lost like 120 pounds, which is amazing, and he continues to lose weight, but he's just never in ketosis. So I'm assuming she's saying with the urine strips, he's not identifying that he's in ketosis, right? Talk about that.
Well, if you're not doing keto, you're doing high carb and you're losing weight, that's a bad situation. That means
No,
that
he's
you're
doing ketosis.
Okay.
He's doing the program.
Yeah, and then that's
So-
actually what's happening is he's so efficient. He's using up his ketones as fuel. Think about it. If you have ketones in your urine, you're basically wasting fat. It's going out. It's not being used as fuel. When you become more efficient, you burn them up. It's not going to show up in the urine very much. It doesn't mean that you're not in ketosis. It just means that you're burning up your fuel.
Now I'm curious about what you were going to say. If people are not on the program,
Yeah. If they're
and
not
they're
on the
losing
program
weight
and they're losing a lot of weight and they're eating a lot of sugar, they're probably a type 1 diabetic, and they're basically burning up their muscles. What happens in type 1, and this is something that I think that an average type 1 that's not really researching nutrition and they're following the regular recommendations with a high carb diet, which is so bad. What's happening is like if they don't watch their blood glucose levels, and then let's say they forget about it, and their insulin drops too far because type 1 you don't make insulin. So then the blood sugars go sky high. So if it's up to like 300, your blood sugars, and you forget to take your insulin, and it goes higher, the cells have no way to get that glucose. So what happens is the body starts to, as a survival mechanism, starts making ketones like crazy, and it starts taking your fat and your protein, your muscles, and starts turning it into ketones, to the point where it's so high that it's a danger zone. That's called ketoacidosis, because ketones are acidic. And that's where people get this confusion, like, oh yeah, well if you do it healthily, you will never in a million years get ketoacidosis. But think about this, if you have that high sugar too, it's going to spill over in the urine, you're going to lose a lot of glucose, you're going to be dehydrated, lose your electrolytes. I mean, that's why it's so vital to not follow mainstream diets with diabetes in general, because you're never going to get better. This goes with hypoglycemia as well. Okay, Karen?
okay.
Let's go to David from Utah. Are you there, Dave?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi, what was your question?
Hello?
Hello.
Well, hey, I've been been on your Facebook, and I've been doing keto for 9 months. But all of a sudden, it's like 1 week, I lost 15 pounds, which was amazing. But then in a week, I didn't lose anything. And then a week, I didn't lose anything. And then last week, I just gained 9 pounds off of it. And I was wondering if I was eating too much fat or anything, because my activity station is stationary, and my activity is stationary. Since I have sciatic nerve pain on my right side because of my disc in my spine, I need surgery for that. I can't be able to walk much or do much activity, so I just did. And my sister was telling me that she's been on keto for 18 months with her and her husband, and it cured her of type 2 diabetes. I just was wondering what I need to do to help me to lose weight again, like say about a pound a day.
Sure.
That I used to.
Sure.
So anyways, I was just wondering if I was eating too much fat or eating too much.
So let me
because of it.
explain. Let me explain what to do, Dave. Do you have a pen? Are you sitting down? You ready for this? If you actually lose 15 pounds in 1 week, okay, that's not fat. That's fluid. If you gain 9 pounds in 1 week, that is not fat. That's fluid. So you're having a fluid loss and a gain, which tells me something, that you're probably either allergic to something you're eating, or the vegetables you're eating, you're bloating, you can't digest them. I would change up your vegetables, maybe cut some of them down, study the topic of SIBO, S-I-B-O, on my video so you can get some data on that, because that can also cause some fluid retention. Also, if you're taking a lot of the sugar alcohols, that can actually create some fluid retention. You may even want to go to your doctor and get an allergy test, because if you're allergic to some of your foods, that can be causing the retention. But if you haven't already done so, you need to get this book, because that's going to show you how to do it correctly. I don't have time to actually evaluate what you're eating. I don't know, because that would be very important, but just get the book, follow that, and that way you're doing it correctly, and you'll probably end up doing very well and with your weight, and then you can consistently lose fat. All right, Dave? Good question. Thanks for calling. All right.
My turn.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, since you mentioned the summit,
Yes.
a lot of people are asking about when is it, where is it? So we should say that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Where is it?
It's going to be at the Gaylord Hotel Convention
It's
Center
a nice place.
in National Harbor, Maryland. It's right outside of D.C. It's actually
Gorgeous place.
across the river
Mhm.
from D.C. You could take a little water taxi into D.C., into Old Town, Alexandria in Virginia. It's amazing. It's on Labor Day weekend, 2019. So it's going to be August 31st.
And you know what I would do if I were you? I would come either earlier or stay later. And this is what I would do. Right across the river, and there's a water taxi right across the river. You can actually see it. You can go right to Old Town, which is an incredible, it's like walking back in time, you know, back into the...
You could do ghost tours.
Oh, yeah.
At
there
night.
are ghosts in that town.
You can take a water taxi right into D.C. and it's a great time of year in D.C. It might be a little tiny warm.
Not at night. But what happens right across the river to the left, if you go to the left, you can go right to George Washington's house.
Oh, Mount Vernon.
Yeah. And he's not still there.
He's not there.
But it's a great tour. And I would, if I were you, I would check that out because it's really cool.
Yeah. It's a Labor Day weekend, but it's the best hotel rates.
Oh yeah, we got some
really
good hotel rates. Yeah.
And it's an amazing hotel. All the comforts of home. It's really, really cool. If you've ever been to a Gaylord, it's really
very
beautiful.
nice.
Anyway, I would make a big long weekend. Some people did that last year, but since there's a holiday, I would definitely do that. Take the DC Duck tour around, or the double bus, the big bus.
That's right. And even the ghosts are on keto.
Even the ghosts are on keto.
One of the viewers said that.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay, good. So thanks for that commercial, Karen. I'm going to go right to Kia from New York.
Okay.
You had a question. Go ahead, Kia.
Hello, Dr. Berg. How are you?
Hi, great. Thanks.
Good, thanks. So I'm calling because I've been doing keto for about 8 months now, and I've been doing the intermittent fasting portion, I would say, for the last 3.5 months. And recently there's 2 issues that has popped up. One, I noticed that like my hair has been thinning and my nails have been getting a little bit more brittle than normal. And then secondly, I've been having this urge for crunchy things like peanuts, which I'm allergic to. But I it's just become a thing where I have to have it, you know, and then I'm fine. So I'm wondering if it's possible that I'm not having the right supplements. I'm currently doing OMAD, and I do take the estrogen balance because I have PCOS, and I do like a daily probiotic, and that's what I'm taking now.
Okay. So a couple things, a couple tips with supplements with keto. There is a kit, it's called Keto Kit, that I have that has a blend of 3 things. The wheatgrass juice formula, which is a broad-based, seriously nutrient-dense green juice powder, which helps a lot of different things. It's like you could use it as a substitute for vegetables, but a lot of people just use it to get energy. And then I have the nutritional yeast tablet forms, which I think you need the B vitamins for your hair and nails, and because the requirements for Bs, especially natural ones, go higher when you do keto. And then I have the Electrolytes, which is another formula that also will help you. And the advantage of the Electrolytes, it has the trace minerals, which are directly responsible for helping your hair and nails. So it's not just about taking one mineral, take the whole blend, and I think that would help you if you got the kit, because you're doing keto and you want to support that. And if you're doing intermittent fasting, it tends to tap into your reserve nutrients. So if you are going into keto deficient, these things are magnified. And so to prevent these issues, you take these supplements that support it. Thanks, Kia. All right, let's go to Ray from California. Ray, are you there? Ray?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, Dr. Berg.
Good, how are you? I think you had a question related to ear popping issues.
Yes. First, I have to give you kudos on the gallbladder formula.
Oh.
I have lost about 16 pounds in 30 days.
Wow.
And I had keto rash, and the doctor prescribed me antibiotics. I did not take that. I went with the gallbladder formula. In 3 days, the rash went away. So
That's
awesome product.
fantastic.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's an awesome thing. It's
So last 2 weeks, I've been on keto for 5 weeks now, keto and OMAD, and I've been having ear popping issues, and they've gotten severe. I mean, on the left side, right below the ear, I have a lot of pain also. Doctor gave me prednisone. I took it for 6 days, came off yesterday, and the ear pressure issues came back like again as of last night.
okay.
So I just wanted to see if there is any guidance from you.
Okay, so so a couple things. There's a little tube between the back of your throat that goes right to the inner ear, a station tube that actually, sometimes it can actually have some mucus in it, and that can back up and create some pressure in your inner ear. The best remedy for that, if it is related to sinus mucus, is Spanish black radish. You can buy them at the grocery store, eat them. You can get them as supplements, but the radishes are the best thing for that mucus. And then garlic drop in your ear. 1 drop of garlic oil in the ear, let it go in there, and that will help with the popping because usually it's some microbial thing going on in there. There is another technique that you can actually adjust the ear. Now you probably think this is completely crazy. I might even do a video on it. But you can take the earlobe and, I'm not going to demonstrate it, but I'll have to do a video, and you literally can hear the kind of like the popping sound, and it helps to drain the ear. I know some of you are going, okay, this guy went over the edge, but you just have to try it to check it out and see if it works. But
I thought you were going to.
I'm not going to demonstrate
to
it, but I'm going to do a video on it. I think it'll be very cool. Thanks, Ray. All right, Karen. I'm waiting for your questions here. You probably have some really good ones.
I do. I just have been doing a little moderating.
All right.
Okay, good. So why don't you give a tip, and then I'm going to ask some questions. Don't take a call, do your tip.
All right, guys. So we're going to talk about,
we
are going to talk about, and I'm glad you waited because those people that checked off are going to miss out on this. So split ends, right?
Right.
Okay, so obviously there's, curling iron, hair dryer, heat will destroy it.
Hairspray.
Yeah, chemicals. But there's another thing that will do it as well. There's actually 3 different things. One is the chlorine that's coming from your water dissolves and breaks down this little oil layer around the hair. It's called sebum. That's normally supposed to be there, and it has some vitamin E in it. So it just oxidizes that thing, just gets rid of the oil. It strips off the oil from the hair shaft. And so now we have chlorine directly on protein. That basically breaks down the structure of those proteins. It starts at the ends, and you can start seeing it fraying that way from the chlorine. So you just have to get a filter. Okay, so that's another thing. Now, if you're in the pool, there's something called AquaGuard that you can get. It's an oil that you can press, or actually it's an oil mainly rub in the hair before you swim, and it'll protect the hair. And then
that's a good tip. AquaGuard.
Yep, it's pretty natural. And then the other thing is, wear a cap when you're swimming, and then the third thing is the deficiency of copper will cause the splitting of the ends, of the hair ends. So copper. So I'm not talking about chewing on a penny. I'm talking about
vitamin C.
Yeah, copper is a natural vitamin C, but the foods that are high in copper, the top food is oysters. Then we have liver and organ meats.
Yummy.
And then we have sesame seeds.
Oh, I like it.
Okay. Cashews. If you're on keto, don't do a lot of those, small amounts, because they're a little higher in carb. But you don't want to exceed your amounts. Mushrooms have some copper in them. Why? Because it's a vitamin C complex. Seafood, sea kelp, plant-based trace minerals, just to name a few, Karen. So copper, and occasionally it could be zinc as well, but you don't have to worry about that because if you're eating these foods, you're getting zinc, you're getting iron in the right amounts. One last thing about this, guys. If you have an iron deficiency, don't ever take the regular iron pills that you see sold online, iron pills. You don't want to take, because iron, it's really hard to get rid of iron, and it's always in the wrong form. You want iron from food, like red meat, things like that, liver. The best supplement would be like a spleen, good quality, high quality grass-fed spleen product, extract. Sounds delicious.
Yummy.
Sauteed. Now, they're actually, you can get them in pills. But that's what you want to do, because the iron can be very dangerous if you take too much of it, especially if you're a man and you're not menstruating, and so you can't get rid of it. So iron is very toxic.
What about, someone asked about copper pots. You're mentioning copper, and there's some...
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it because
Why?
you're getting the elemental, the form of copper that your body cannot assimilate. Our bodies are meant to absorb plant-based trace minerals, not regular like dirt
Metal.
or metal. That's why you can't chew on a penny and get your copper.
There you go.
Okay?
So copper pot is not a solution.
It's not a solution, sorry. And the iron pot, cast iron is not a solution either.
Cast iron? Oh, cast iron is not a solution for iron.
Right.
I know, you made us get rid of all of our pots.
Yeah, and remember we got the other nice Teflon, or like these, there's some surface, and I got rid of those as well. The
non-stick
Yeah.
things? Yeah,
Got rid of those.
That's garbage.
Constantly throwing things away.
Recycling.
So, Rich from Alaska, where it's nice and warm. Are you there?
I am. Actually, it's very warm today. It's like 33 degrees, so that's absolutely perfect.
Wow. One of my favorite show is Life Below Zero.
Yeah, that's filmed way up north. I'm in southeast, so
You're like in the
quite get
beach.
the cold weather, but yeah, exactly. Okay, so a couple of questions I have here is I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes in 2008, although after seeing all the signs, I've probably had it my entire life. So my question is I know getting sleep is a great part of everything, but I have such diabetic nerve pain that I can't sleep. I get up about 5 in the morning, and I try to go to bed by 10, but it's usually closer to 11, which is fine because by the time 5 rolls around, I'm hurt so bad I have to get up anyway. So I need a little help with that. And the second question is, my head throbs all the time. The best way to describe it is it sounds like my heartbeat in my head. It's not my heartbeat, but that's what it sounds like. So
Okay.
anything to help me with that?
Yes, I have a solution for you, Rich, and this is going to solve it, okay? You ready for this? I'm assuming you're doing healthy keto and intermittent fasting the way that I show you in my book. Let's just assume you're doing that. Hopefully you're doing that. If you're not, you need to do that. If you're diabetic, you need to do it hardcore yesterday. But here's what you do. Very simply, you can order this online, and it's called benfotiamine. It's a very specific B1 vitamin that is fat-soluble, benfotiamine. Buy that, take 4 tablets per day spread out. You may even want to take just a little bit more when you get it initially, and then start taking it. That's going to start reducing the complications from this sugar problem that you have, and you may still have diabetes from it, but you won't have the complications. You'll have less nerve pain because it helps to reverse the nerve damage, and it's the best kept secret for pain. All right, benfotiamine. Thanks, Rick.
Rich, I think.
Yes. All right. Do you have a quick question? Or you want me to go to a?
I did.
What is it?
Okay, can keto help the kidneys, and how?
Well, like I said, the 4 main areas that insulin and high glucose destroy are the kidneys. So yes, keto will help your kidneys. The kidney, the heart vessels, blood vessels, the nerves, okay, in your fingertips, and your brain. Those are the 4 areas that are destroyed with high sugar and high insulin. And it's just so amazing because when you go to a dietitian, they put you on, they put diabetics on starches, potatoes, beans, fruit, skim milk, and then grains. I'm like, why? Diabetes is a condition of high sugar. Why would you want to increase more sugar? It's illogical.
I'm going to say, just because I have to say it.
Say it, Karen. Get it out.
That there's a lot of keto stuff on the web, and there's people who are really advertising that they have this keto solution. And recently I saw a commercial advertising about insulin resistance and reversing it. And all these guys, you look at their diet, you look at the solution, grains, beans, breads. It is a sham.
Do you know that two
I said it. There, I said it. It's a sham.
Wow, you just came right out and said it.
I know.
Don't mince words, Karen. Now listen, at the summit we have 2 very, very credible cardiologists who are basically going to be talking about carbohydrates in your heart. And they're low-carb cardiologists. They're both head of their departments in their clinics in their, I think they actually in the hospital. Yeah. So it's going to be incredible to listen to what they have to say because, think about most cardiologists are like, oh no, do the healthy grains,
That's right.
Avoid fats.
That's why you really have to be careful because keto is so popular right now that all industry and not consumers, but retailers are going to jump on the keto bandwagon, and they're going to market keto, and they're going to throw keto onto everything. And you just can't assume that because you're buying something that says keto or you're following somebody that says, they have a keto plan, that it's going to help you and it's going to handle and address the problem because we see too much.
Yeah, we won't mention any brand names on that. Slim Fast. But
Golo.
What was that? What did you say?
Golo.
Golo. I
That's
don't think anyone knows what that is.
It's commercials on it.
Oh, okay.
Even some doctors that are on the web.
Okay, don't mention their names. Let's go to Denise from Kentucky. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Dr. Berg.
Sure.
I was hoping you could help me. I've been on a feeding tube for 4.5 years. I have Lyme disease, scleroderma, and Sjogren's.
Okay.
I'm not able to chew or swallow. And I do have a lot of food allergies, allergic to pork, fish, and nuts. Trying to find some better nutrition than just doing Ensure Plus down my tube.
Okay. This is one of those hacks that I think are really important. You're in an NG tube, and you can't just eat regular foods. You've had Lyme disease. You've had all these complications. I think what I would do, and I would get this thing right here, my book, and I would blend a combination of, I would blend in there, I would definitely get for nutrients, I would, like the wheatgrass juice powder is a must. And then I would get some nutritional yeast, blend it together. I would also use maybe some pea protein. That might kind of give you some more protein. And then I would probably blend a little avocado in there. And I know this might be pretty disgusting, but a little maybe neutral tasting cod liver oil, because we need the fat soluble vitamins. And I would blend that all up and go that route because you can't necessarily consume like other people. But on a positive note, one thing you can do is intermittent fasting. That's going to help you greatly. But unfortunately, the crap that they put out there, like Ensure and these other formulas, are synthetic. They're high carbohydrate. They're high refined sugars. They're soy and corn. You're going to have to make your own blended foods, which basically are in keto. And you could blend any of the foods that we talk about, just put them in a blender and consume them that way. I don't know if you can do meat, like maybe blend a meat burger. I don't know.
You can blend anything.
I mean, take your mustard
Haven't you
and
ever
burger and
had a
blend it up.
Basomatic?
Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Denise. All right, now we need to go to, I think it's pronounced Mitzi. Mitzi.
Mitzi.
Hi, Mitzi. Are you
Yes,
there?
hello.
Hi, you're from Kentucky.
Yes, I am.
Great. What was your
Yes.
question?
Okay, so my husband and I have been started this keto diet about 5 or 6 weeks ago. And just give you a quick brief comment of who I am. I'm 53 years old. I've had extreme stress in my life the last 3 years, and I mean extreme. And so I did your quiz. I came up with a pancreas body type. So my question is, I'm going to listen to all your videos and figure out what I need, whether it's progesterone or estrogen or, vitamin D3 or whatever it is. I'm going to listen to all those. But my question is, how long should I look at seeing results?
Right.
Like, I've only lost about 7 pounds and, maybe an inch or two. But I've listened to your videos and understand that stress, causes a lot of issues and different things like that. So it's going to take a while. How long should I look at this before I see healthy results, before I can start losing weight?
Okay, so you just gave me another idea for a good video. Since I'm running out of ideas for videos, completely run out. In fact, I don't even know if I'm going to have any other ideas in the future. I'm just being sarcastic. Here's the thing. If you follow the right plan, the weight loss is going to happen. It's going to be dependent on what's your pre-existing diet. Like if you had years of just bad eating and you destroyed certain things, it's going to take a while. If you have a lot of weight to lose, it's going to take a while. The bigger health benefits that I would focus on are no hunger, no cravings. That's the most important thing right there, because that means that you're in ketosis, so you're burning fat. And then it's just a matter of time. So if you're still hungry frequently, and you can't go a long period of time, if you can't go 20 hours without being hungry, then we know you're not fully really adapted. A good 20 hours or even longer means that you are hardcore adapted into this, and you're burning fat. But you have to work up to it, and you have to let your body tell you when to eat. But then you can speed things up. So I would watch my plateau videos too. You can take potassium, you can do this, and you have vitamin D, and you go in the sun. But the fact is your body has to reconstruct and build those proteins before it actually just purely taps into the fat reserves. You may need to do prolonged fasting once, every 2 days to really speed things up. But all the videos will explain that. But typically, I think you've done it for 6 weeks. You're already starting to notice the results, but the weight may take, a little bit longer. Okay? Well, thank you for your question. And on that note, Karen,
it's time.
Guys, we appreciate your questions. We can't wait to see you at the summit. Yep. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you very soon.